Welcome to What's Your Story? I'm your host, Sherita Williams, and today I have an amazing guest for you. He is a teacher, he's a minister, and he's also an author. Please help me welcome Bryan to the show. Bryan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. What an awesome opportunity. What an honor it is. So thank you, and God bless you to this organization and you as well.
Thank you. So, Bryan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
But just born and raised in Virginia. Born in Norfolk, Virginia. Raised in Chesapeake, Virginia, kind of South Norfolk, Chesapeake area. Uh, Raised by a single mother. My father wasn't in the home with us. I have two older sisters. So I was the last child, also the boy. So I was mama's baby boy, mama's only boy, and so that's just a little bit of the childhood background, about me. I'm pretty much I guess you could label a problem child, as I was growing up. Just dealt with different challenges of identity, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and weight issues. Right around, I was a slim child right around till about 9 or 10, and something happened, and I woke up one day and realized I wasn't shaped like everyone else in my class.
Yeah.
So
Bryan, I understand that. I understand that there's some issues, challenges being raised by a single mother. So, what was not having a father in your home? What kind of impact did that have? And also, you brought up about your weight. What kind of impact did that happen? Because I'm sure you were bullied at school.
just some of the challenges are just about growing up, number one, in a single parent home, and not having a male presence or male influence in the exact home. That was right initially. I thought it was normal. See, I really didn't understand the severity or the capacity of it until I was after till about 9 or 10 or 11, and you've been around other children who have, male figures or their biological dads, in the home. I'm thinking, at that age, my dad left when I was about 2 or 3. So, they divorced when I was about 2 or 3 years old. So I'm coming up at that 5, 6, 7, 8, kindergarten, first grade years. And it was normal to me. I didn't think anything of it. I just knew I had two older sisters and a mom and an aunt, and we all kind of dwelling, but I wasn't being developed. Okay, as a young man, where I didn't have that thing to pull from outside of maybe rap music and TV, where I saw some of the things that were kind of make believe. So going into school and going into those transitions and kind of those facing those challenges of weight issues and being bullied, I had no one to really kind of walk me through and tell me and affirm me, that, hey, I'm God's child. Hey, you are somebody, and my mother did what she could, and she did the best that she could, but it was just a hard thing trying to deal with, home life, and then going to school, kind of being pushed around and being bullied, not able to defend yourself, no one really to teach you those things. So it was quite challenging.
I'm sure it was, but at such a young age,
Mhm.
you had weight issues. What what impact did that have at that time? Because you're saying you were around 9 when this happened. How did that impact your life?
Well, one, going to school, and I think it's still the same thing even now. Going to school is about one or two things or both. It was about what you wore to school and about who you were with. And I think that's even school now. It's about what you got on, and who you hanging with, or what kind of sports do you play. And so it was very challenging because I really didn't have any friends to call my friends. My best friend wasn't in the same school as me. Okay. And then two, I couldn't fit the latest gear. I couldn't fit the latest trend or the latest clothing. And, at that point in time, we talking late 80s and, early 90s. So the trends in clothing, man, was a big thing. It's really no different from now, but that was a huge challenge for someone who, I didn't have the name brand. And then we're talking about a mother who had to raise 3 children on her own. The resources wasn't always there. So you're talking about that, then you're talking about the clothing, and then no one really around me in my circle it was a dark, and I didn't know it was dark until later on after you get older. But that could have a real impact on a child at such a young age.
Absolutely. And now with the internet and social media, it's everywhere. Cyberbullying, everything is everywhere. But what
Yes.
would you like to say to our audience about being obese? Because we know about the obesity is, the weight gain, being obese.
Mhm.
As a result, bullying is imminent. So, how would you like to talk about that?
Well, one, I would say one, know that you have a Father in heaven. That's one. Know that He loves you. He cares for you. His name is Jehovah Shammah. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. That's one. Two, don't beat your stuff up. I mean, this is young or old. Whoever this may reach, this broadcast may reach, young or old. Do not down yourself. Do not add to the negativity already being thrown at you on a daily basis. And I know you may seem like you by yourself and no one is there. If you're hearing this broadcast, I'm here telling you now, I'm there. I was there. And I'm not the smallest guy now. Bless God, I'm not where I used to be. But that's, I'm telling you, one, know that you have a Father in heaven. You have heaven backing you. Two, if you've received Jesus. Two, no, don't beat yourself up. You may have made a bad choice here and there, particularly if you're a child and maybe you have in a low income area, maybe fresh food and organic stuff wasn't readily available, and that's statistics that'll show you that. And maybe as a child, you don't have the choice. You can't choose what you eat. You choose what's cooked or what's bought. So if you're a child, don't blame yourself. Really don't blame your parents either. And if you're an adult, kind of don't blame yourself, beat yourself up. Let's take the proper steps, to do what we can to stay healthy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's so many programs that are out there. And I heard you said that our audience could reach out to you. So go ahead and give your website to us, Bryan.
So I wanna actually exactly hold it up, well. I don't know if they can see this, so it's better for them to see it also, and I will explain it also. So I can be reached at jhurd. My email is jhurd jhurd 2380 at gmail.com. That's my email, and I can also be reached my Twitter page. You can follow me on Twitter at bgerard. That's at BJERROD underscore 1980. That's my birth year, at bgerard underscore 1980. And you can reach me on those two platforms 24/7. So that's jhurd 2380 at gmail.com and at bgerard underscore 1980.
Okay, that's all right. That's great. So now let's fast forward.
Sure.
You made it through elementary. You made it through middle school. Now you're in high school. Okay, now 1 month before high school graduation, you get kicked out. Oh my God, you kicked out of high school. So,
Yep.
what did that do to you as a young Afro American to be
Mm-hmm.
kicked out of high school, number one? And then number two, you become an instant adult.
Instant adult. I mean, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give you the comparison of how nothing was really different. So now you take a young boy, a young child, kind of having to be on his own per se, even throughout middle school and high school, not home wise, being out in the world alone, sort of kind of. And so then you take it to high school with the behavior issues that I had a month before graduation. I'm removed, and so now I'm launched into this quote unquote world with no education as an African American male. You're almost like in a no fly zone. So that had a huge impact onto where just being a quote unquote adult, where you have no education, nothing to fall back on, and just working those. It felt like it was pretty much bonded. That's the best word I got for it. Because what happened was I had severely injured myself as financially when I didn't have an education and I didn't have any, I guess you could say a trust fund or anything to fall back on, while I was kind of going through, these odds and end jobs and working low income, I guess low end or dead end jobs. So And it was difficult. And definitely when you don't have the tools to properly manage finances and, relationships, everything is relationships, whether it's your employer, employee, whether it's mom, dad, husband, wife, and just being kind of worldly minded into the job force. There's a sense of entitlement. And if you got a bad attitude, you're not going to be able to keep a job. So that was me.
Absolutely. So, but let's go back to high school.
Sure.
1 month before graduation, you get kicked out. How did you feel? How did that young Bryan feel at 17 or 18 years old to now not being able to get that diploma? How did you feel?
Embarrassed. I was 18. That was the summer. It was June 1999. My birthday's in December, so I was 18 already. I was completely embarrassed because, and the sad part about it is I could have went to summer school and just finished up. Just went to summer school, finished that one class. I was too embarrassed, just stuck in my pride, just kind of embarrassed. Didn't want to be the last guy out of the group of friends to have to return back to a place. And plus the school didn't want, they put me out. So I couldn't go back to the same school for summer school, and just for behavior reasons. So the best word and the key word is embarrassed. Just felt like a failure.
Absolutely. And so many people are, you struggle with being bullied, you struggle, now you struggle with being a dropout. And I just want to reach out to our audience today. If you are being impacted by bullying, cyberbullying, there is a number that you can call. That's 1-800-448-3000. And that's a crisis number. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you are having any type of impact, whether you're bullied at home or on the net, you can reach out to 1-800-448-3000. Bryan, we're going to take a short break right now. And if you would like to be a guest on What's Your Story, you can reach me directly, Sherita Williams, 154@gmail.com, or you can reach out to our website. That's WYTV7.org. And if you would like to give a donation, you can also go to WYTV7.org. We'll be back in just a minute.
Swing Into Their Dreams Foundation presents the golf tournament of the year, raising scholarships for aspiring National Golf Club in Milton, Georgia. The inaugural HBCU Swing Into Their Dreams Charity Golf Tournament. Registration and gourmet continental breakfast begins at 8 a.m. and shotgun at 10 a.m. Award reception follows. Come enjoy a day of jazz, mimosa, cigars, cash bar, silent auction, and more. For more information, contact 770-686-71 Their Dreams. Don't miss it.
We're back with our host, Bryan Hurdle. Bryan, will you give your information?
Yeah, so if you want to reach me, you can reach me here. This is my email. You can reach me at jhurd2380@gmail.com. And also my Twitter here is @bgerard_1980. And the title of my pilot book is on sale right now on Amazon, and it is entitled The Step Tracker. So once again, that's jhurd2380@gmail.com. And on my Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at bgerard_1980.
All right. Thank you for that information. So let's fast forward. In the first half, we learned about your high school years and you becoming an adult. Now you become a statistic. You've been incarcerated. How did you get behind bars?
I actually driving on a suspended license. That's how I ended up. Behind bars. Just being a rebellion, forced to do what I thought was right. Coming out of a bad, coming out of a failed relationship. I'm not gonna say bad. If anybody made it bad, it was me. But coming out of a failed relationship and just doing things that I thought to myself were correct to make ends meet. And so, as always, wrong does catch up to you. And in June 6th, 2011, I was sentenced 3 weeks in jail.
Okay, so now you think you've hit rock bottom, but God, in 2012, things start turning around for you. And I like that song. He's turning around for me.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
it.
happened in 2012 that made it turn around for Bryan Hurdle?
So, in 2012, I said yes to Jesus. I said yes to God. And ever since it has been on a steady incline. I was actually back. So I received Christ in 2012. My birthday, December 2012, I was baptized right on my birthday. And things it have not been the same since. So the turnaround point was right in 2013. I received my GED. Right from 2013, right at the end of 2013, I received the GED. January 2014, I didn't even take a break. Went right into a local community college to receive my degree in social science. From there went to receive my bachelor's in leadership studies at Regent University in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
So, as a result of you becoming a new Christian, what was God calling you to do?
God was calling me to tell my testimony. He was telling me to tell my story, and this is specifically what he told me. Listen, you may have made mistakes in your past, but your past is not a mistake. And everything that has happened, and I can see it. It's almost like that scripture over in Isaiah. Just behold, he does a new thing. Can't you see it? And everything that has happened into my life up until this point was all for the cause, for the cause of Christ, man. And I can tell you, I feel like Paul. I don't want to get emotional. I feel like Paul because I understand why he said, I am an ambassador in chains for Christ. And if this is what it is, if this is what it feels like, and this is what the turnaround is, being like he was shipwrecked and he was beat. And how about me? If I was kicked out of school and bullied and teased and joked on, and some stuff I brought on myself, and being incarcerated. If that's what it is to get somebody to heaven, I'm an ambassador in chains for Christ, man. And to live is Christ and to die is gain. That's the turnaround.
Absolutely. And God's plan is not like ours. Over in Jeremiah 29:11, he says, I've got a plan for your life, plans for you to prosper. And it sounds like that's what was happening. Your life was prospering as time gone. So you became a teacher after graduating from college. What do you teach?
Right now, teaching math and science at the fourth grade level at a local elementary school in Portsmouth, Virginia, and soon to be licensed for social studies. My passion, my calling is towards history and English. So that's here in the near fall future. Yep.
Okay. How do you use your life experience in the classroom with your students?
How I use my life experience is by walking it out, by how I carry myself. And how I say and talk, and young men, you have to use a certain tone, and this is science. You can look this up. Little boys respond to a certain tone, and little girls respond to security, and it's just the same as women and men and grown women. If a woman says something to a man in the wrong tone, he gonna shut down. He might not hear nothing else. Like kind of like wah wah. And then a lady. A grown lady, if anything that sounds fleeting or anything that doesn't sound like it's too sure, you won't be able to grab her. So that's a quick example of how I do and what I, just using that anointing and that gift and that information in the classroom is building the young men up, building the young girls up, as well too, but using those, building the young men up and showing the young ladies that, hey, Mr. Hurdle got your back.
Yeah. So, Bryan, do you mentor young boys or young girls?
Mentor young men right now, and so just to keep everything on the level. I do, and actually my little cousin as well too. I'm bringing him along as I go up. But I mentor young men in a low income neighborhood, not far from me. I call it guy time. Sometimes just they need that presence My pastor calls it the ministry of presence. Meaning I don't have to preach all the time. You don't have to give them scripture and beat them over the head with the Bible. But I'm telling you, as a young, particularly, you can be black, white, green, but particularly as a young African-American male, he needs presence and a good influence and positive. You could just be there and it makes all the more difference. So yes, I do, to answer that question. Right here in my local area, doing it in my neighborhood, going out evangelizing. God told me one day you're going to have to be what you never had. So I rode public transportation for years. So I go out and about and I put partner letters and Ziploc bags and bus tickets and I pass them out. Free one-day bus passes to parishioners who are riding the bus and just giving back what I already been through, and who better that than me. And God is just so good to use me to do that.
That's fantastic. And that's a part of what WYTV7 do. You know, we educate, we empower, we encourage. And we have every year we do a feeding the families, or this year we did feeding first responders. And that's something that goes on annual, and that's something that's going on right now, feeding families. So if you would like to give, you can go to WYTV7.org. And Bryan, what is your website again?
My email right now, my website is currently being built. It's under construction. So my email is JHURD 2380. That's jhurd2380 @gmail.com. And once again, you can follow me on Twitter. Please feel free at bgerard. That's BJERROD _1980 at bgerard _1980.
So you're an author as well.
Yes.
So tell us about some of your publications. And also, I know that you wrote a book. So would you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I write for a regional Christian magazine and it goes by the name of Kingdom Life. I was the feature author in this particular edition with Nick Cannon on the front. So just awesome stories of local, regional, and national other authors and ministries, and I'm just so I feel so honored by Dr. Bernard Harrison Jr., who is the owner and founder of Kingdom Life magazine. So I'm the feature author in this one. My article, I have articles in both, and I just met him at a conference, and he asked me to write for his magazine also. So that's something I do, and I'm, like you said, I'm also a published author, and this is my pilot book entitled The Step Tracker. And this is on sale right now on Amazon. You can find it. You can type it in the search bar, or feel free to reach out to me again at jhurd2380 @gmail.com for this link, or follow me on Twitter at bgerard19 bgerard _19.
So the Step Tracker is an interesting name. How did you come up with that name?
So one morning I was out just doing my morning, and I actually talk about it in my book. I was out one morning doing my daily walk, jog, routine exercise, and God just kind of just dropped it in. Sometimes it's good just to get quiet and spend time with the Lord and let him drop something in your spirit. And he said, "Hey, I need you to write the Step Tracker." And he gave me the actual title, told me how to write it and what to write it and what to put in it. And here you have it actually in my hands. He has made that dream a reality. And I talk about some of the things we talked about today is actually in the book as well, which is all God, and we're talking about it. And it's 5 chapters, about 100 or so pages, a short read. And I talk about 5 experiences or 5. I'm a great storyteller. I consider myself one. About 5 experiences that God used in my life, that what the enemy meant for bad, God turned it around. He turned it around for good. So talk about courage and character and just some of the challenges I faced as a young boy going into manhood.
Bryan, I think that's fantastic. So, Bryan, you've done it all. You've been, you're a teacher, you're a minister, you mentor kids, you're an author, you've done it all. So, what is your mission to impact the world? Tell us what that would be.
Well, the mission is to help not just young African American men, whether you can be Caucasian, black, white, Indian, red, green, yellow. The mission, number one, is to get these people back to Jesus. That's one. So how does all that look? How does all that? Well, using my gifts, and my talents, like I said, to be what I never had, and what that look. I know that's pretty broad. But what they may look like, publications, getting on every available voice, such as WYTV, 7, and going out and reaching and touching the people, one person at a time, and that person can go tell 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, people, and so that's evangelizing, outreach, radios, books, and such as I've done. And my second one is due out this fall. I'm not gonna tell the title just yet, but that's due out. My second forthcoming book is due out this fall, and so I have a plethora of things, that how we're gonna impact the world. But the main thing is to evangelize and to get these people hearts and minds turned back to God.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about one kingdom, one God. So, Bryan, we'd like to thank you for being on our show today. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Swing Into the Dream. We'd also like to thank our listeners at WYTV7. And again, if you would like to be a guest on our show, you can reach out to me directly, Sherita Williams 154 at gmail.com, or you can go to our website, WYTV7.org. And we would love for you to be a guest on our show. Bryan, again, I want to thank you for letting your story become our story on What's Your Story. I'm Sherita Williams. Until next time.
God bless you. Thank you.